Hello, Facebook. We are so glad to be here today. My name is Haley Heischman, and I am a 200-hour registered yoga teacher. I am here in partnership with Advancement Courses to bring you a 6-week series of wellness videos this summer. So tonight is our first one, and it is Yoga for Teachers. While we're waiting for everyone to tune in, as you get in here, logged in and settled in, go ahead and tag some friends in the comments below. Invite them to join us if you think they would like this video. Stay tuned till the end, where we're going to give you a special coupon code for 20% off all of the Advancement courses, and we will get started in just a minute. Please know that if you have any health issues or conditions, to please consult a physician or your doctor before you start any type of physical fitness, not just yoga, but anything with your body. Consult your doctor. We'll get started in just a second. We'll give people just a few more minutes to tune in. If you have any questions throughout this live video, feel free to drop them in the comments below. We'll get to them either during the video or afterwards. I can meet you over in the comments. All right, so let's get started. Come to a seated position wherever you are, whether you're in a chair, if you're in your car but not driving, wherever you are, just come to a seated position with a straight back, so no slouching over. Lift your top of your head toward the ceiling to create that flat back, and just breathe here. We'll get centered and focused before we start moving our bodies, before we learn some new moves to relieve tension and stress, to come back to a calm mind during your busy days. So inhale through your nose, and then exhale through your nose as well. So we'll take 3 breaths like that. And one more inhale. We're going to start today with our necks. So we spend the majority of our days upright and we get kind of scrunched up with tension and stress. So I want us to relieve some of that tension and find some fluidity in a part of our body that doesn't move very much. So we'll start with dropping our right ear to our right shoulder and just breathing here. Let gravity take over, so don't let your shoulder follow. Let it stay centered. And then drop your chin to your chest. Breathe here. And then left ear to left shoulder. So you can start to sync your breath up with these movements. Exhale will bring you down. Inhale to the right. Exhale back down. And inhale to the left. Now on this exhale, you can start to drop your head back to look up toward the ceiling, and then inhale to the right. You can connect these movements with your breath at your own pace and just see what you notice. Maybe one side feels tighter or tenser. Maybe you run into some pain. Just skip over that. And you can reverse directions. Get curious about what you feel. And we'll come back to center. Inhale, take a deep breath up and bring your hands to heart center. One more, inhale up and hands at heart center. Bring your right arm over your chest. So I think we're all familiar with this stretch. We're just working on our shoulders here, finding a nice stretch in the back of our shoulder blade, and switch sides. This one might not be new, but it's always a good refresher to come back to. Considering we spend a lot of our days as teachers and just people in 2018, we use our hands a lot and we hold things a lot. So I want to bring some awareness to our hands. Go ahead and grab your right wrist with your left hand and just start to do some wrist circles here. You might hear some popping. That's okay, that's normal. You can try this with a fist or an open palm and go slow. See what you notice. You can switch sides. Go round and round, slow. Don't forget to breathe. Come up above head and grab your left wrist and just lean toward the right a little for a nice side body stretch. And grab your right wrist and switch sides, so lean, finding a nice stretch. Come back to center. Next, we're going to do another wrist movement with our arms out in front of us, so just straight out. And this movement doesn't technically have a name, but my students and I like to call it zombie arms. So we'll bring our fingertips up toward the ceiling, actively pulling back, and then point them down toward the floor. So up toward the ceiling, and then down toward the floor. This is just kind of giving our wrists that stretch that we don't typically get in a regular day. And I think it feels really good. So go through this a few more times. And come back to neutral. So I'm going to offer you two different options for your spine. If you have knee problems or wrist problems, this is a good option for you. And then I'll show the other more yoga pose option after this one. Cross your arms over your chest, and then just slowly start to fold forward, rounding your back, and feel that stretch in your back. And then slowly start to arch your back, look up toward the ceiling, point your chest up to create an arch. And you can move back down. Again, going nice and slow. And being intentional, syncing your breath with these movements. You can stick to this, or you can start to create a circle here and just explore that. See where you might be popping or feel tension, just to notice. You can switch directions. So that is one option for your spine. Or you can come into tabletop, which is on your hands and your knees. You can keep your toes tucked to help you distribute your weight evenly and find your balance. You want your shoulders, your elbows, and your wrists to be in one line. Let me scoot back a little bit so you all can see the full thing. And then your hips and knees are just over each other here. So in this position, we're going to drop our belly, look up toward the ceiling, inhale. This is cat. And then exhale, round your back, look toward your belly button for cow. So these are two yoga poses that sync well together. And you can sync your breath with them. You can go slow. Inhale brings you up. And an exhale brings you back down. So you can go through that movement a lot if you'd like. Or we can move on to more wrist stuff. So from tabletop, to find a really nice stretch in the palms of our hands, we're going to do some first knuckle push-ups. So we'll do one at a time at first. Go ahead and lift your left palm up, and then slowly roll it back toward your mat. You can lean back in between so there's not a lot of pressure in your hands. Come up, lift your palm, and then slowly lower. We can do the right side, palm up, slowly lower. You can even do both hands at the same time. So come up on both first knuckles, slowly lower, and you'll feel a nice stretch in the palm of your hands and your wrist. That is a favorite of mine. I like to do it daily because I'm always typing and writing. Our next pose is going to be puppy pose. So from tabletop, we're going to slowly start to walk our hands out in front of us and lower our chest toward the floor. So this is a nice stretch for your chest and your back and your upper arms. Don't forget to breathe here. Slowly walk your hands back up to neutral. Another great pose, which is a variation of just arms across your chest and stretching, is called thread the needle. So you'll come to tabletop. You'll inhale, reach your right arm up toward the ceiling, and then you'll thread it through your left arm and your left leg, like so. You want to lay your temple on your mat and your shoulder on your mat. So you can use your left hand to brace you, or you can reach out long in front of you and breathe. Bring that hand back towards your face to lift you up. Come back to neutral, and we can switch sides. You'll get to see what the other side looks like. So reach up with your left hand and thread through the right side. So from here, you can reach up above you to find a deeper stretch. Use your right hand to bring you back up into tabletop. And it's a pose that I like to come to whenever I just want to feel grounded or connected and centered, is child's pose. It's a really simple pose that most of us can do. There's a lot of modifications. You'll come into tabletop, you'll bring your big toes to touch, and then bring your knees out wide and start to sit back towards your heels. You can put a towel between your legs or a blanket if you'd like some cushion there, and you just slowly start to lower your chest towards your mat. You'll feel a nice chest stretch, arm stretch. This one is a very grounding, centering pose. When you're ready, you can come back up to tabletop, and we'll make our way back to a seated position at the tops of our mats. So come back to neutral, breathing, back to your breath in and out of your nose. From here, we're going to put the soles of our feet together. So many of you might remember this from childhood. You might do this with some of your students. This is butterfly pose. We've focused a lot on our upper body, our neck, our chest, arms, and this is great for the hips. I think it feels really good, and it's a simple pose that you can do while you're watching TV or grading papers, whatever you might be doing where you need to sit still. So bring your feet close into you, but not too close. And inhale, lengthen your back, so reaching your head up toward the ceiling to find that length. And then exhale, start to just lean forward. So you don't have to go very far here. You can grab onto your feet or your ankles. And just let your breath be your guide into the stretch. So inhale lifts you up, and exhale deepens the stretch a little bit further. Come back up to neutral. Bring your feet about 6 inches out. And this time we're going to round our back and start to reach our forehead toward our feet. So this will just give you a different type of stretch. You'll feel it in your back more. And you can do either variation. Come back up to center, back up to a neutral seat wherever you are, and we're going to go through just a short breathing meditation. So this is something you can do anywhere to come back to your center, to your calm mind. If you feel stressed, if you just need to take a minute or 5 to yourself, all you have to do is sit wherever you are, in a chair, in your car, on your yoga mat, and find a straight, long spine. You can keep your hands palms down or up, You can even bring your hands to touch here in the center, wherever you'd like them to be. Just find a position that's comfortable. And you can close your eyes here or just shift your gaze toward an area in front of you. Either way is fine. And you're going to breathe in and out of your nose here. So don't worry if you're doing it right or you're doing it wrong. There's no wrong way, and you're going to have a lot of thoughts as you sit in stillness. That's okay, and it's normal. So just sit with yourself and trust that you'll feel better when you're finished. Take a deep inhale in. You can exhale out of your mouth. Slowly start to open your eyes. Inhale, reach up toward the ceiling. Nice stretch, long. And exhale, hands at heart center. We'll take one more deep breath together. So reach high, inhale. And hands at heart center, exhale. Come back to neutral. I hope you enjoyed those movements. I hope they are helpful for you. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I actually see one popping up right now. Hi, Caitlin. So Caitlin is asking, do you have any tips for improving posture to prevent back and shoulder pain? I find myself slouching when I'm sitting at my desk a lot. So I think this is a two-part question. My first piece of advice is look into maybe a standing desk. It's not really yoga related, but when I had a desk job, I did standing and sitting, and I would alternate. And it really did help with back pain and slouching. Poses that I like to do for any back pain or slouching or just postural stuff is sitting upright and just making sure that I'm reaching the top of my head up toward the ceiling. And you're not really reaching it up a lot, but it's more of the thought of it. And you can go through some shoulder rolls here. So you can bring your shoulders up towards your ears and roll them back. And just start to create some movement here. And feel how much you don't move your shoulders. And find something that feels good. You can even go back, or forward, I guess that is, reverse. You can do one. But really just focusing on unlocking your shoulders and finding some movement there will help in your overall posture. I also like to do some spinal twist. So from a seated position, you can put your left hand on your right knee and just slowly start to twist from side to side to find some movement and maybe relieve some of that tension. I hope that's helpful. There are a lot of things you can do and try. There's no one set pose that might help, but definitely get curious about where you're slouching or where your posture is lacking in certain poses and see if you can't counteract that. Awesome. So I'll be on the lookout for more questions, but I do have a few announcements for you all. We have a special coupon code for everyone watching that is going to go along with our summer series. That code is FBLIVE20. So that's FBLIVE 20, and that can be used on any of advancement courses, professional development courses on their website. They're all great. I recommend diving into all of them. There are some yoga in the classroom ones, some mindfulness courses. Definitely take advantage of that code. And we will have our next episode of our summer wellness series happening on June 18th. We'll send out that Facebook invite, and I hope to see you there. Let me know if you have any other questions, and I'll see you over in the comments. Bye, you guys.